Jay, you with me?
Yes, sir.
Talking Town episode 9, the Rondo episode, the Super Bowl episode. Jay,
Let's get it.
I mean, the title of the show speaks for itself. It's the Super Bowl. That's all we got to talk about. We got to talk about the Super Bowl. Man, let me just start off by saying Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, OBJ are Super Bowl champions. That's just it just feels good to say. And I know I'm rapping the Bengals colors, but I was rooting for the Rams 100% because I wanted all of them to get rings. All of them boys deserve those rings.
Von Miller 2-time. Come on. Come on. Robert Woods, you know, a lot of people said, Cooper Kupp said that if it wasn't for Robin Woods, there would be no Rams team. And,
right.
You know, for him to get a ring too, it's amazing that they finished the season without him because he started off good and he got hurt. But Los Angeles Rams are the Super Bowl champions. Let's just talk about how, like, one, I see a lot of controversy talking about how, like, the refs are siding with them, and then the only reason why they won that game is because of the refs. But let's see. If we take away one touchdown, I think the score would still be 20-13. I think it would be. Yep. So I mean, I wouldn't put that on anybody.
Here's what I'll say about the officiating at the end of the game. Was the holding call a holding? Yes.
Yes.
Is it holding with a minute left in the Super Bowl when it hasn't been called all game? No. I don't think it should have been called, but you can't look at that and be like, that's a bad call. Because he was holding. It's just at that point in the game, without calling it the whole rest of the game, that is where the controversy comes in. For one, Jalen Ramsey got absolutely spun around by his face mask, and there was no call. Like, it was one of the more egregious missed calls I've seen in a while.
It was blatantly clear.
Yeah.
Live television, like you tweeted. Replay. In motion.
4K. We saw it. We all saw it. From multiple angles. Full speed and slow motion. We saw his head
All you see is Jalen Ramsey go from looking at the ball to face to the floor. And it wasn't his controlling of it.
No.
Because that's like... And the fact that he was looking... At first, I was like, no way he just got mossed like that.
Yeah,
There's
that's what I was saying.
He just got mossed and tripped. And I'm like, replay shit. I'm like, oh, come on. It was clear. Yeah. And you know, it's crazy to think about. He's given up... That game was the most yards he's ever given up in his career.
Yeah.
145 yards from all the receivers. But I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know, but did you see... did you see that, how, like, that last play when Aaron Donald slapped Joe Burrow? Sacked Joe Burrow? Yes. He had Jalen Ramsey beat?
Yeah. Well, listen, Bengals fans.
Ooh.
If Burrow just had one more second, he would have had Chase open. Yeah, well, if your aunt had a dick, she'd be your uncle, but she doesn't, so she's not. You know what I'm saying? You wanted a wide receiver, and you didn't want Penei Sewell, so you don't have time. You chose Jamar Chase.
You like Apple.
You wanted Jamar Chase with your pick. That's what you got. You chose not to protect your quarterback, and he got punished for that throughout the playoffs. Most sacks in NFL history, I think. And then in the playoffs, I think I read a stat that he was sacked more times in the playoffs than Tom Brady all season.
I believe it. He was sacked like 12 times throughout the first 3 games.
Against the Titans, it was 9, and then against the Rams, it was at least 6. And plus, not including Aaron Donald's last, where he ended up throwing it away. But I mean, obviously Cincinnati, they bring in a line. All offseason, all they should be doing, drafting and signing offensive linemen. That's it.
And like we said before, it's like they've had a great season, so it's like who wouldn't want to go play on that team right now, especially as an offensive lineman when you're winning. You know, you can't be mad as an offensive lineman and you're winning games because, you know, your number one thing to do is block and win games. But, you know, shout out to the Rams. It was amazing. I was really concerned once OBJ went down. Man, it was, and reports are saying that he's another torn ACL.
Same knee too. That's
ridiculous.
Which
that's not good at all. Bad. It's crazy to think about too, because I'm watching it. I'm literally watching him run the route, and all I see is him just hit the floor. I'm like, bro, what? You applied pressure to the floor. But, you know, you never know with football, man, especially when it comes to the knees. It was really scary. I'm surprised he was still out there after the fact that, you know, he tore it. I was like, my cousin, you think he tore it? I was like, nah, ain't no way he tore it. Because if he tore it, he'd probably be getting
I
operated right
literally
now.
said that the second you could. I had a couple friends over. I'm like, you could ask him. I said right when he went down, they were like, "Ooh, I wonder what happened. Is he coming back?" I just looked at him like, guys, he tore his ACL. Like you could see the way it turned, and they're like, "But he's walking, but he's walking." I'm like, "You can walk after you tear your ACL, like
Yeah, I know.
especially in that moment in the big. Klay Thompson came out and shot free throws and then got back on defense. Like you can walk. This dude is a world class athlete. Like there's no question that he can walk.
Yeah, there's no question. There's no question. But it's like it's crazy to think about because you know we went through all that rehabilitation. You know he trained hard in the off season, and it's just like, and it's crazy because I guess the last time he tore his ACL was against the Bengals.
Yeah, that is crazy. Listen,
It's like
Jay,
what is it? But I'm happy he got his touchdown though. I'm happy he got his touchdown.
Yeah,
Though.
I mean the Rams' offense became very ugly when Odell went out. Like they weren't doing much.
Oh, it was atrocious.
Other than that last drive, they didn't do anything without Odell on the field.
Nothing.
And it speaks to how important having a really good number 2 is, especially without Higbee at your tight end spot. But the performance that Odell had in the playoffs was going to warrant him a lot of money and a number 1 receiver spot. And this torn ACL really hurts because now I don't think he's going to get nearly as much money, although he still might be in contention for a number 1 receiver spot. But this torn ACL, second torn ACL, he's not in the New York Giants years where you know he's 24 years old. He's just gonna bounce right back. Like I don't know, man. It's a risk that I think much less teams would be willing to take now.
I think the Rams are going to be willing to take. I seen a report saying that he was willing to take a pay cut to stay in LA because you know he loves it there. You know, I'm pretty sure he don't need his NFL contract. That man probably got to deal with Nike, all types of brands and stuff. So it's like, you know, make that money from the NFL, play ball, but get those endorsements and those, you know, sponsorships. But like, I hope, like you said, his last he played 9 games with them.
Yeah, week.
Probably 8 or 9. Yeah. Yeah, around that, and then in the whole time he didn't do nothing but excel, but open up the field so he can get the ball, for Cooper Kupp can get the ball, so Higbee can get the ball, or, you know, Jefferson can get the ball, you know. But like you said, and once he went down, I was like, I don't know. That's when I texted you. I was like, bro, is the Bengals defense playing better, or is it because Odell went down? Because once Odell went down, it was just like it was Cooper Kupp. You know, and then Jefferson, but Jefferson's not even a, you know, he's not a real superstar to get the games. He's a great, you know, 3-4, you know, type of, you know, receiver because that's what basically would be. But then obviously Cooper Kupp came out and went crazy in that last drive. I literally said it. I was like, yo, Cooper Kupp's about to have a drive of his career.
Yep.
Him and Matthew Stafford literally single-handedly won that team the championship. But I'm be real with you, Aaron Donald also, listen, Aaron Donald from the third quarter. From the start of the third quarter to the end of that game, Aaron Donald put so much pressure on Joe Burrow. It was unbelievable.
I don't know exactly who it was, but somebody on Cincinnati woke up the beast, and they should have done that. They poked the bear. I don't know if you remember the play.
It was
push Joe Burrow. For the record, totally clean play. Burrow was still in bounds, had no chance of sliding. He clearly didn't want to slide. And then dude comes over, punches him in the face with a face mask on for some reason. I don't know why football players do that. But woke him up. And for the record, Cincy fans, rigged Cincy fans, that should have been another 15-yard penalty that wasn't called. Your lineman just comes up, punches Donald in the face. That wasn't called either. So I suggest you respectfully shut the hell up about the officiating, all right? Because that was 2 plays in 1 minute. In the span of 1 minute, there was a face mask call that wasn't called that led to a touchdown for your team, and then another unsportsmanlike 15 yards that would have been called if they called Donald being punched in the face. That's all I'm saying. So take your referee calls and bring it somewhere else because I'm not hearing it. You can go to your local bar in Cincinnati and you can talk to all the Cincy fans and complain about it being rigged, but no one else is having that. You're stupid. You sound stupid. Stop.
He said they woke up the beast.
They did.
They literally after that play,
He was going crazy.
He was going
Yeah.
insane.
And big mistake. Big mistake.
Like, they literally pissed him off. He's like, all right, now you're going to fuck with me when I'm not even doing it, but just trying to play football right now. You're trying to get me out of my zone. Now you just made me tap into another level that I never even tapped into before. And now I'm really about to do bad things to your quarterback.
I don't even
think... I thought Joe Burrow was going down.
Oh, yeah.
When he I was like, oh, man. And honestly, that looked like more of an ACL tear than what OB having OBJ. Yeah. You know? So I was like, oh, man, come on. Like, this, please don't have the game end off like this. Like, that's, like, one of the worst ways to have it, you know? But I love it, though. It wasn't a high-scoring game, but it wasn't, you know, it obviously was 20-23. But it's like, I was like, this is what I said. It's going to go down to the last 2 drives.
Great football game. It really was a great football game.
2 drives.
And listen, I am going to be that guy right now. My score prediction was 24-13 Rams. So in a hypothetical world, if the kicker just makes the extra point, or if the holder holds it correctly, that's 24 instead of 23.
That's 24.
If the face mask called is correctly, that's 13. So in a world, I was kind of right. You know
what I'm saying? That is... Hey, nah, give it to you. That's up to you, bro.
I was
that is
kind of right.
Like,
kind of right. A little bit, sort of. Kinda.
I don't remember. I think I was in the high. I think I was high for them for the score.
It's like 27.
I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, it was like I think it was something like that. And I was like, because I thought it was gonna be a high shootout. But then again, I was like, both of these defenses are playing really good. Then I was like, wait, no, this defense isn't that good. OBJ went down, and then Eli Apple turned into
burnt toast.
Apple cider. He turned into apple cider because that man was getting cooked. He talking about, I wish I could pull up a screenshot on the screen right now. Hopefully Payne probably do some edits. Pull up the pull shot. He's like, hey man, I used to go one-on-ones with OBJ in New York. So, you know, hopefully I can guard him, coach. You know, I know all his tendencies and how he moves out of play. Boy, he hasn't been in New York like 2 years. You've been in those last 2-3 years.
I'm about to put
you know
it
what
on
you've been doing? Yeah, you know what
you've
been
doing?
I can't
you've
been going. Wait, I got a screenshot. I'll send it to you.
You got to.
He's like, boy, you know what you've been doing the past 2-3 years? You're getting switched from each different team, and not because you want to, because you got no choice but to.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, I was just like, oh man, this guy right here. Where is it?
I can put it in front of my my camera. Hold on. I'm gonna put it right in front of my camera.
He wants to guard Odell.
It's mirrored. Never mind, I can't. Read it out loud.
The Bengals cornerback reportedly told defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo that he knows his former Giants teammates' tendencies. Boy, you know his what?
No, not.
You said you know his what? You need to learn your coverages, boy. You need to learn how to play defense without holding.
I think all of Twitter coming together to roast Eli Apple.
Yo, that was crazy.
One of my favorite nights on Twitter. It's up there with like 21 Savage being British and the Clippers blowing a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets. Like that was an all-time night on Twitter.
Yo, when I seen Lamar Jackson post a picture of him smoking, I say, oh, he's smoking Eli Apple pack like that. So wait, wasn't he on the Ravens before?
I don't think so. He was at New Orleans and New York for sure.
It was New Orleans. All right, I
mean, he just plays in Cincy though, so that's a division rival.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. I was gonna say because I was like,
so funny.
Yeah, Lamar. When I tell you like you had players tweeting at him respectfully, like. Not even no disrespectful, just like, yo, bro, maybe you need to. You have McCole Hardman take a picture, take a video of his Super Bowl ring. Was like, bro, it's okay, you don't have one of these. You know, maybe
if you was a better corner,
you go work on that game. You was a better corner, you would probably have one. Like, bro,
you trying to help him out.
Michael
Thomas was on his ass. The Ravens were on his ass.
Michael Thomas played with him.
It was so funny. Yeah, Michael Thomas played with him in New Orleans, and he was still on his ass.
Like how you told your defensive coordinator you wanted to guard Odell, who wasn't even the best receiver, who's considered not the best receiver on his team. You're supposed to be the best cornerback on your team. You want to guard the number 2? You don't want to guard Cooper Kupp? And then when it came to guard Cooper Kupp, I don't know what happened. I told you Eli Apple turned into apple cider. That man was...
He's not the best. Oh, well, Jesse Bates is safety. Never mind.
I would say you starting at corner, you consider one of the best corners on your team. You know, because like at that point, it's like who else? You're not gonna put anybody that's not better than you in the game.
I want to, but I want to shift real quick, Jay, if you don't mind.
Okay, I got you.
Joe Burrow became like legendary status in the NFL in this postseason, right? Like you would say, his popularity grow exponentially.
Exponentially.
His popularity
Tremendous
just continued
amount.
to increase over the postseason, and people have considered him great quarterback to a superstar quarterback just based off this postseason alone. And I'm here to tell you to pump the brakes, and I'm gonna tell you why. Matthew Stafford played so much better than Joe Burrow, not just in the Super Bowl, but in the whole postseason. And he got no credit for that. And Joe Burrow was just pushing up, and up.
It was the face. They put. You know how they go.
Josh Allen played 2 better games than Joe Burrow. Both games Josh Allen played are better than Joe Burrow. And people just seem to have written off Josh Allen because he lost in 13 seconds. His defense couldn't stop Mahomes. Why is that his fault? Just because the quarterback won the game, like that doesn't put him above another one. Why is Matt Stafford not considered ahead of them? Because Matthew Stafford played much better than Joe Burrow in the postseason. If you don't believe me, obviously 4-0, but 70% completion percentage, 1,188 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Joe Burrow, on the other hand, 68% completion, 1,105 yards, only 5 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Stafford's better in every category.
Yeah.
And
you ain't scoring, you ain't winning.
And when it comes down to it, Stafford led game-winning drives in 3 out of the 4 games. And Joe Burrow's defense stopped game-winning drives in 3 out of the 4 games. The only one they lost, the defense couldn't stop them. So I'm not here to say that the Bengals championship run was, a fluke, but in all of the infinite realities that this postseason plays out in, there's not many times where on, first and goal from the 9-yard line, the Raiders aren't going to score. That's not going to happen very often. Somewhat lucky. That's your defense, by the way. Ryan Tannehill gives you the ball on plus territory. Tie game, minute 46 left. Titans have two timeouts. Tannehill gives you the ball, easy field goal to win. Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, first and goal from the 4. Touchdown wins the football game, and they only get a field goal. All 3 of these things happening back-to-back-to-back weeks is so unlikely. But when it comes down to it, the defense was making the plays to win, not Joe Burrow. So the combination here of Matthew Stafford's 3 game-winning drives and the Cincinnati's defense stopping 3 game-winning drives, that clashed, and Stafford just, when it came down to it, Cincinnati, their luck ran out. I'm not saying Cincinnati's never going to get back there, but it was a large amount of fortunate events for Cincinnati. We can go all the way back to the Raiders game where they got a free touchdown on a play that should have been blown dead. A lot of people just seem to forget about that. They might not even be here if it wasn't for that call. So the whole Joe Burrow hype train, I love it, and I still think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, undoubtedly. You can't argue with me on that. But where's Matthew Stafford's credit? 3 game-winning drives, and one of them in the Super Bowl. Better stats than Burrow all postseason, but Joe Burrow's cooler, so I guess he's the face.
He doesn't have a wife yet, so women love him.
I guess so. He's got cool nicknames, I guess. I don't know.
Joey Ice, Joey Burr, Joe Shiesty. And don't get me wrong, like you said, I love Joe Burrow. I have respect for Joe Burrow. You 2nd year in the league, and you are playing in these top-level games, and you're getting the job done. You're winning. Most of the time, like you just clarified, it is the defense that got the job done most of these games for him. But at the end of the day, he's still going in there, showing up, and putting up the points that he needs to put up so they can win the game too.
Yeah.
But like you said, that fandom and that stardom, I heard people talk about, this is the next Tom Brady.
In terms of getting to the Super Bowl based off a lot of fortunate events, he's absolutely just like Tom Brady.
Yeah, but like, come on, bro.
In terms of skill set, no. Relax.
No, like if that was the case, he would have won that game on Sunday.
In
LA.
He is close to Tom Brady in the sense that he continuously gets lucky. And it benefits.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's totally.
I got you.
I could, if that's the comparison,
yeah.
I totally understand. But if we're talking about, they were
talking about
status,
like legendary
playoff,
dynasty status.
Hell
yeah. Like they're talking about like playing the game of football.
This is a big argument in football media, like winning. I don't think there's a reason to put Joe Burrow ahead of guys like Josh Allen. Like Josh Allen played better than him in both games. It's the classic Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott argument.
Oh yeah,
they're not good quarterbacks because they have one playoff win. That's just not true.
Yeah, that is the part of the worst thing that we can say. I mean, yeah, obviously there's a big effect of it, but it's like you can't say they're not great quarterbacks because they can't. Right. They're not winning. Because most of the time it's out of their control. What if your defense is not showing up today and you're giving it like Lamar Jackson? We've seen him countlessly give it everything he got while his defense is not showing up. So it's like in a playoff game. I mean, he shot himself in the foot. I think it was Wait, what? Nah, he didn't shoot himself in the foot, but now one playoff game he had like 3 interceptions. I can't remember.
Against the Titans in 2019.
Yeah, against the Titans. Yep. So it's like you have games like that, but 9 times out of 10, like 8 times out of 10, he's still performing at a superstar quarterback level.
The point I would make is don't just look at a quarterback's postseason record, right? Like, Josh Allen's lost 2 years in a row to Kansas City. I know for damn sure he outplayed Mahomes this year. And I know what he did against New England was ridiculous. 4 incomplete passes and 4 touchdowns. Ridiculous. Joe Burrow has not played a game better than either of those two in the postseason. But his defense, like I just mentioned, continuously got the big stop when they probably should have lost the game. So don't just look at the record and say, oh, the quarterback is the reason. That's not true. I tend to look at you have to look at the stats. You have to watch a game. But when a player isn't even on the field for 50% of the game, how does winning impact their legacy? When it's a guy like Rodgers, I get that. Because if you're hoisted up as the best in the world versus Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's got 7 of them things and you got 1, I totally understand. But when we're talking about the second level of quarterbacks, like your Brady at the top, your Mahomes. But when you're talking about guys who don't have a Super Bowl yet, these young quarterbacks, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Herbert, why does Burrow winning 3 games make him better than Josh Allen, who played better than him in both of his games? That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to sit here and act like Joe Burrow isn't a great quarterback. But like just the fact that he's cool and his team won a couple games in the postseason, we got to slow it down a little bit.
Nah, yeah, I totally agree with you. Because I was gonna say a couple minutes ago, I truthfully believe if it was, obviously you can't say this because people are probably gonna bash me for this because there's no if, but if the Bills had made it to the championship and they were put in that predicament, I think the Bills walk away with a championship.
100%.
I think Josh Allen 100% gets that job done.
That's the thing that really gets me. That's the thing that really gets me about these comparisons and these playoff wins. What did I just read about the defense making a play? First and goal from the 4, first and goal from the 9. The other team gets a touchdown. It's probably game over. Josh Allen needed 13 fucking seconds of defense, and they couldn't do it. 50 yards in 13 seconds, and they couldn't do it. So playoff wins, when it comes down to stuff like that, it means nothing to me. Like, Joe Burrow had a good postseason. He wasn't extraordinary. He wasn't the superstar that he's made out to be. He played well, and his team won the games. With more protection next year, I feel like the Bengals will be in another similar situation, but you also have to remember, them boys in Baltimore are going to be healthy again.
I can't wait.
So a 9-7 division championship out of Cincinnati, and then a playoff run, which I could consider to be a fluke. You could. I'm not saying I will, but I don't know, man. I'm not gonna say Joe Burrow's never gonna be back, but don't expect this next year.
Nah, I don't expect him going back to the
If this take is cold, then it's cold. If this take is hot, then it's hot. You know what? But clip it now. They're not going back there next year. Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore. The Colts with Russell Wilson, you know. Anyway.
Yo, it might happen, bro. It might happen.
Nah, we'll talk. That's for another time. But listen, I'll give Joe Burrow his props. That team probably shouldn't have got there. He did his thing. Defense showed up. Everybody did their thing. But God damn it, man, Matt Stafford had a much better postseason, and he just won the damn Super Bowl.
He's been putting up those numbers for years.
That's right.
Now he has not been praised. All throughout these playoffs. Not even since he's won the championship, I have still yet to see Matthew Stafford praised. After all those years, he's been put in the dirt in the ground while he was in the Lions.
That's all I'm saying is we got Joe Burrow up here as the poster boy when his defense won 3 straight games. Meanwhile, Matthew Stafford leads a game-winning drive, 3 straight postseason games against Tampa Bay, San Francisco, and then in the Super Bowl against the Bengals, he leads 3 consecutive game-winning drives, and somehow he's not the one that we're talking about the most. It's been Joe Burrow all postseason. That's got to stop. Like, Matthew Stafford was incredible, and he just cemented a legacy and pretty much just put Detroit in the dirt, to be honest with you, because that is tough.
I'm gonna be real with you. He made me look at Aaron Rodgers and be like, listen. You see? Yeah, exactly. He got the same amount of championships, and obviously you're not gonna get those MVPs because not everybody's gonna be sucking you off every year like they do to Aaron Rodgers. You know, no homo on why. You're gonna have to clip that out. But you know, it's like, bro, he literally. I just can't even think about like all these years of him getting destroyed by these defenses, and he finally leaves and he finally wins, and he still has not gotten the flowers he deserves.
That's what we're doing right now because he deserves.
We're doing
all
it right
of
now,
it.
exactly, because he deserves all of them. Because that guy that looks like
no, stop.
That guy in Green Bay.
No.
he got his 4th MVP with 1 ring, and he's still considerably better than Thomas Brady. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
We took a guy who spent I don't even know how many years. Let's take a look. We took a guy who 12 years in Detroit. 12 years in Detroit. With 0 playoff wins. We put him with a competent franchise, 4-0, Super Bowl champion, Matthew Stafford. Always been one of the most underrated players in the NFL, and now he's got that ring to tell everybody to shut the hell up.
And the thing is, if he stays healthy, he works on his body this offseason. If the Rams stay healthy and work on their bodies this offseason,
he'll be right back.
Run it back.
Who's their competition in the NFC? Brady's gone. Rodgers is probably gone.
Run it back.
Who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop them?
Run it back. You're going to have Robert Woods back. You're going to have hopefully a healthy OBJ, not even in the first couple of weeks. It don't matter. You know, they didn't have him the first couple of weeks anyway of the season. So it's like, run it back. I think hopefully
we'll see what happens this offseason, but I think they're going back.
Yeah, I know it is. If he goes back and he repeats, Aaron Rodgers' name never will be discussed in the GOAT discussion ever again in my book. But yeah, man. Shout out to the Los Angeles Rams. Shout out to the fan base. Shout out to SoFi Stadium. Shout out to Matthew Stafford. Shout out to Kelly Stafford. Shout out to Robert Woods, Aaron Donald, Sean McVay,
OBJ, Cooper Kupp, Jalen Ramsey.
Cooper Kupp, Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller, the rest of the defense, you know, those huge linebackers that be full of those caps. Shout out to the Los Angeles Rams organization. Salute to y'all. Y'all had an amazing halftime show, too. Y'all had basically the illest halftime show we've seen in a while.
Incredible.
Like, craziest. Y'all had 50. I didn't even know 50 was coming out.
I didn't either. I found out like an hour before. I didn't know 50
was coming out. I saw 50 hang. I said, who the fuck is it hanging out? Then I seen that tank top. I was like, oh, that's a G-Unit tank top. G-Unit. My boy was looking dope boyish, though. But yeah, man, it was a win for Los Angeles, you know. The only thing that's not winning in Los Angeles right now is the Lakers. But besides that, shout out to the Rams.
I want to say it was a great. I'm not talking about the Lakers. It was a great halftime show, and what it meant for the culture of LA was incredible. However, no single human being in that crowd gives a fuck about the culture of LA. These are 50-year-old rich white men in the crowd. Nobody knows what Dre and Snoop mean to LA. Nobody knows what Kendrick Lamar meant to LA. That's what got me upset about the halftime show, is that it was incredible and it was a great moment to have those guys in LA. But for the people in the stadium, they don't know what the hell it means. They don't care. They saw Eminem and they were like, "Oh, that's my guy. That's real rap right there. That is."
Yeah. You just took the word out of my mouth, bro.
That is real
Someone
rap.
said that. Someone tweeted. They was at the game. They was like, "Yo, it was loud in there." And then once Eminem came out, they said the stadium was rocking.
Oh, the stadium went crazy when Eminem came out. Absolutely.
But I mean, I don't blame him though. But it's funny how he took a knee, all that stuff, and a lot of people were upset. And then he was like, "They was like, listen, y'all ain't want to accept me when I first started rapping. You know who accepted me? The black culture, and it's crazy to say that because he
Dre specifically,
Dre specifically, yeah, you're right. So it was like he was like, man, it was crazy though. It was crazy though. That was shout out to Jay-Z. He's the one that actually organized that whole thing. Right. I didn't know that. I found that out yesterday.
The thing I would say is that I feel like they could have got away with less people and more songs. Like it's in LA. If you just had Dre, Snoop, and Kendrick, that would have been fine with me. And then Eminem has enough hits to do his own with somebody, because you're gonna need somebody else. Like Eminem and 50 could do one. Mm-hmm. Kendrick, Dre, Snoop could do one. Like I'm just trying to think to the future of like what hip hop artists could now, since we've opened the gate, what hip hop artists could. Obviously Jay-Z has arguably more hits in hip hop than anybody. Kanye and Jay-Z, they would never let Kanye up there because he's a sick fuck. But Kanye and Jay-Z would be incredible. That's all I'm gonna say. Hey, YMCMB.
Oh, that would be hard. But I haven't even heard YMCB has been like that's just ever since Drake blew up. It's just been Drake.
Yeah, I mean they released Seeing Green like 2 years ago. Not even 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But, I think you put the three of them together, they could make a great halftime show. But, listen, the problem I have with that show is you took so many huge names in hip-hop. Do they really do repeat, like, halftime shows? Like, performers? Are they gonna do Eminem again at some point? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I mean, no disrespect. Eminem's one of the greatest.
What could they do next year?
That dude ain't had a hit in, 14 years.
Kamikaze.
Hell no. Rappity rap rap fastity rap rap rap. Fuck out of here, bro.
Yo.
Nah, it was a great show. Next year, I genuinely don't know. That's
what they could have next year. Your boy that was in the drums, Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars.
Oh hell yeah, 100%.
This bitch got me paying for shit.
I think those two could do a great show. Anderson .Paak finally blew up with that album, so I think they could do a great show. I think Ariana Grande low-key.
Bro, that's just crazy.
I think Ariana Grande low-key could do a good show. She's got hits back for years. I thought she was gonna come out with The Weeknd last year, which, by the way, underrated performance with The Weeknd. Very underrated performance, but
that was an underrated performance.
I could see Ariana Grande in the future. I could see Bruno and Anderson .Paak. Although I thought Bruno did one already as a guest.
I think he did one already.
Beyonce, right? But 50. I'm not saying it matters. I'm just saying I thought that he had done one at one point. But I mean, that's a couple names I would like to see in the future. I think hip hop does have, they do have Jay-Z, and he's got more hits than anybody in the genre. So I could see Jay-Z.
I don't think they've ever done Meek Mill.
They haven't done any rap artists. This was the first time they've done rap artists.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. Duh.
I think they got to do based off of where they are. I think that's how they should do it. If it's hip hop, you know what I'm saying. The crowd won't care, but the people from that city will. You know what I'm saying.
Wait, but then the Migos never performed.
Right. You're probably confused with NBA halftime shows because all the people you're naming have done NBA halftime shows. I was saying that I want J. Cole to do a halftime show, and then I watched back his NBA All-Star halftime show, and I was like, man, no, I don't, because that crowd in the NBA halftime show is 100 times better than any Super Bowl crowd. It wasn't even close. Hey, go and watch J. Cole's 2019 halftime show in the NBA All-Star Game from Charlotte.
That was a hard one.
Best halftime show ever, football included. Fuck what you talking about. Anyway, Talk of the Town, episode 9. That was the Rondo episode. Jay, you got any closing thoughts for us?
Hey, yo. The NBA playoffs is coming up. And shit about to get real spicy.
Hey,
once this All-Star come,
we're going to be talking about this All-Star game. Yeah.
Oh, the trade deadline, too.
We're going to get on that. Next week, we got that.
Some BS done went down.
We got you on that next week.
Anyways, we got y'all with that Heat coming soon. All-Star break coming soon. 3-point contest coming soon. Seth Curry is now with Kevin Durant again, so Kevin Durant technically has a Curry again, so he might have those powers in his regimen. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was another successful episode.
Here we go.
This is your boy Jay Boogie with a hoodie, and Swaggy P, and we're checking in. Well, we're checking out actually.
Episode 9, Rondo episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, subscribe.
Whenever you watch this, go enjoy this beautiful weather, even though it's brick.
Absolutely. I mean, this probably. Hey, we gotta have this out by the end of the night, so you know.
Hey, I hope you
did get to enjoy this weather while we were sitting inside recording this for y'all. Now it's 8 p.m. when you're watching this, so you snuggled up, get some nice hot chocolate or something, and tune in for a nice 36 and 10-second episode. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.